What's up guys, my name is Vortex, you can call me Liam, I don't really mind. Welcome back to another life story video. This week we're going to be talking about the time I hacked my school. I say that, it was me and a couple of other friends, but I'm going to explain this as I go on, so I'm going to start from the beginning. Basically, I'm sitting in my math class one day with a couple of other friends. Well, actually I got moved to another room so I could finish off my maths test. So I was doing that and I look across and our head of year knocks on the maths room I'm supposed to be in and he takes one of my friends out. And he speaks to him for a bit and then they walk off. And then he comes back and I'm wondering why he took him away and then he asks for me. So I'm like, okay then. I get up, I leave my test, I leave my bag and everything. I go with him and we end up going up to the deputy head's office. Now, I am never there because I'm not a bad kid in school. I'm usually good. I'm usually really quiet. So I don't really have a reason to be here and I'm really scared because I'm like, what have I done? And I don't know what this is about, so it's kind of terrifying to me. Anyways, me and my friend, we're sitting up there because he's outside still as well. Somebody else is in the room talking to the deputy head, and I can just hear the deputy head like kind of mumbling in the room, like a conversation, but it's muffled because there's a door and stuff. Anyway, kid comes out of the room, and it turns out it's one of my other friends, and his face is red. He's looking a complete mess. He looks terrified. Looks like he's gonna have a mental breakdown, and this kind of scared me a little bit. It shook me up because like he leaves, and then my other friend gets called in. One who like got pulled out of class with me, he gets called in and I hear arguing in the room, and basically he comes out 5 minutes later and his face is red as well and he looks like destroyed. Like he went in smiling and he came out with like the deadest look on his face. Like he was looking at me and he just looked at me and he shook his head, and this scared the crap out of me. I was terrified because I was like, oh no, what have I done? Like, what have we done? They look so scared right now. What could we have possibly done to have caused like this much trauma to my friends and possibly me next? I'm scared because I know I'm gonna come out like that in a minute. Anyways, get called into the room and we're talking, and basically they are talking all this stuff. Like, we got the tech guy, the school's tech like dude who does all the tech stuff. He's there and he's basically saying like, do you know about these things called .bat files? And I say, well, yeah, because I actually remembered a couple of years ago, 3 years ago in fact, 3 years ago, me and the same two friends, we ran these things on the school computers called .bat files, and if you've ever seen the film The Matrix, where all the numbers and stuff come down in green code, it looks just like that. Basically, you type code in Notepad, and you run it, and it comes up in a little window, and it just runs through all this stuff. And so, like, we just thought it was cool at the time, it looked really cool, and it was a fun thing to do and show everyone. That was actually, little did we know, destroying the school server. Like, it was spamming it with information, all of the information from all of the computers in the school. And one day, in, I think it was year 8 or 9, when we were doing this thing, the school computers all crashed, and we didn't really know why. It turns out that it was because of what we were doing, but it just took a while to take effect. Anyways, recently somebody reopened one of these codes on another account, and they managed to trace back to all of us 3 years ago. And they assumed that it was a cyber attack and that we were trying to deliberately hack them. So they took this very seriously. And I'm sitting there and they're telling me like the police can get involved, I can do up to life in prison because people have done this before, trying to hack like very important businesses. I'm sitting there, I'm terrified because I don't want to go to jail. I wouldn't last a day in jail. I'm too pretty. I don't want to talk about what would happen. Basically though, they're telling me all this stuff. Like, what we did was we broke the school server for a day, and it took them ages to reset, and it could have potentially cost them £500,000 to repair. Luckily, we didn't manage to break it fully, so that wasn't the problem. But we still broke the school rules, and to an extent, we almost broke the law. But we didn't. Anyways, I get taken out of there, and they go to round up some other kids, because we weren't the only 3 involved. There were a couple of others that we didn't really know about. We get sat in the LSU, which is the Learning Support Unit, which is this little thing with like sort of boxed off units where all the kids sit and they just do work silently on their own, not allowed to talk, not allowed to look around, just sit there and you get given work from your lessons and you sit there and you do your work in silence on your own for the entire day, no contact with anybody else in the school. So we're sitting there, we're being treated like we've done something like terrible, like we are criminals to an extent, because like every teacher that knew what was going on looked at us with like the worst face. Like they gave us the evils to an extreme. Like they were staring at us like, you're going to jail, kid. And I'm sitting there like terrified. I'm like crying inside. And basically my friend got his laptop and his USB confiscated off of him, and he produces music. So that was kind of an issue for him because he used that to do his music coursework, and he can't do that no more because like he's not allowed to bring his laptop in, and also they confiscated it that day, which I'm not sure they're allowed to do. Anyways, they're threatening to get the police involved, and it's just a horrible day. It was a horrible experience all day for us all. And at the end of the day, we go out and we talk to the deputy head and things like that, and it's like, will be further discussed tomorrow and things like that. My friend doesn't get his laptop back until the next day, and we're not allowed to bring memory sticks or anything like that in anymore for the rest of the year. That's ongoing. And yeah, it was just a horrible day. Like, I thought I was going to go to jail. In the end, the school, for some reason, they like dropped everything. Like, the cops weren't involved, no one got detentions or anything. The other two had a meeting. I didn't. I don't know why, but they had meetings with their parents and it was discussed, and for some reason the school just let it go, which I'm really like confused about. Like, it's a good thing because I'm not getting in loads of trouble for it, but like I'm still, why? I wonder why they just let it go and they just like dropped it and didn't get anything involved and just kind of stopped. But thankfully they did, and we all got away with like no problems really. My friend got his laptop back, and he's just not allowed to bring it into school anymore. We're not allowed to bring in memory sticks. We was also banned from using the school computers for like the next 2 weeks. Like, the administrators had disabled our account, so we could not go on them even if we wanted to. And that was really annoying because we had a lot of coursework to do, because I'm in year 11 right now. I'm coming up to do my GCSEs in a couple of months before I go off to college, considering I get the grades, that is. And basically, we need the computers at this, but this is like vital for us, and we couldn't use them for 2 weeks, so that was a big issue. But my other two friends, they had their parents come in, they discussed it, and mine weren't called for some reason, but I told them anyway, and they were really glad. They were just glad that nothing serious had happened, and like there was no police or anything involved, because that wouldn't have exactly looked good. Because I've done some regretful things in the past that involve the police, and this could have led to me possibly going to court and maybe juvie. But that will be, like, I will speak about these topics. There were 2 incidents that involved the police. I will speak about them in later videos, possibly next week and the week after. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this week's life stories video. Hopefully I have lots more interesting things that occur over the next few weeks so that I can keep telling stories later on, because I think I've got another 6 stories lined up involving me and my friends. Also, just want to say this, one of the friends who was with me in the maths class in this story, he was the same one from the last one as well, the same friend from the last story. If you haven't seen that already, go back, because this is actually my 2nd life story video, and I've done a first one a week ago, so you can go back and just look at that on my channel. In that one I speak about a sort of fail, but yeah, you can go check that out. Thanks for watching. My name is Vortex, you can call me Liam. See you next week. Don't forget to subscribe.